compassionate, the merciful. May the best of prayers, peace, and blessings be upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear brothers, allow me to give you a little knowledge on our African history and Islam through our beloved brother Amin Yasser Muhammad and his book Muslims in African History, while also giving you a better insight on Afrocentricity and what it truly means. As American-born Africans throughout childhood, we learned the history of our African ancestors, the blinding way that America wants us to learn. By doing this, they twist up facts, feeding us lies, propaganda, and half-truths at the same time, brainwashing our up-and-coming youth, teaching them to turn a blind eye towards Islam. In America, we are often told to look back to Africa and make Africa our center. They mention Christianity without mentioning Islam, when it was indeed Islam that pushed oppression out of Africa almost totally and actually brought civilization to the continent for the enrichment of intellect, the human nature, and soul. We are cheated into looking at bones, fake cosmetic ideas, and superstitions instead of referring back to real history. Brother Amin referred to these people as false prophets, not to mention cheating. We see them everywhere, all over the TV and media, charming us blind, and we pay attention because we want so badly to fulfill that empty void in our life, wanting to reconnect with our ancient history and learn, but it's only us, my brothers, that must realize it is America that is blinding us. They tell us that we are practicing a non-African religion, classifying Islam as an Arab religion, due to the fact that the Prophet Muhammad was an Arab, the Quran was written in Arabic, and Islam was established in Mecca. They write books about the slandering of blacks to prevent young African Americans from becoming Muslim, but understand, even as Afrocentrics and Muslims, we must respect the intellect of African American people. People like Chancellor Williams, Dr. Yusuf Ben Jochannan, and John Clark fed African Americans these foolish lies, bashing Islam every chance they got, fighting to make us all believe that it was the Arabs that enslaved us, and that we drop our white slave owner's name to pick up an Arab slave owner's name. Well, we as African Americans must reclaim our Muslim African heritage, letting no one take it away or play it down in our life. Islam has always been the religion that played a large part in Black Africa, in contrast to the Christianity in the West. Sheikh Anta Diop said himself, much has been made of Arab invasions in Africa that occurred in the north, but in Black Africa they are figments of the imagination. While the Arabs did conquer North Africa by the force of arms, they quite peacefully entered Black Africa. This desert always served as a protective shield. There was never any conquest of Mozambique or any other East African territory. Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois even stated the whole so-called story Arab slave trade, saying that the truth has been twisted. It was but a secondary result of the British and American slavery, and was based on the American demand for ivory. I learned later that this all occurred because European nations in the 19th century not only wanted slaves but also wanted ivory, so they found a desperately immoral gang of African and Arab stooges to do some of their dirty work. It has often been said, even through J.A. Rogers, one fact about Islam stands glowingly through the centuries. It's almost total freedom from race and class prejudice. The opportunity it gave to every capable and aspiring follower, regardless of color or social status, to rise to the highest possible rank. Slaves rose to sultans, and slave women to be favorites of the ruler, and mothers to heirs of the throne. These cheating and false prophets also failed to mention most of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam first disciples were freed Black slaves, and his second convert, closest and most honored friend until his death, was an Ethiopian ex-slave named Bilal, who also established the first call to prayer. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also adopted a black as his son, Zayd bin Harith, who rose to be one of his greatest generals. But again, this is something that these men purposely forgot to mention. When their plan is to destroy Islam, do we then believe their lies? No, my brothers, we hold strong to the deen, because for Islam, we choke a stick and kill a brick. Forever Islam. Amen.
Ameen.